Connected.
Let's get this baby up to 88 miles an hour.
What happens then?
I'm good at 5. It is fast, guys. I don't know about that.
So, if they were to make Back to the Future like a remake of it now, would they be going back to 1985? Well, it was. Here we are at 2018. If somebody were to say, "Hey, we're going to remake Back to the Future," and they're going to go back to 1985,
haven't they actually talked about doing that?
that's kind of scary.
The problem is we're still in the evil timeline from Back to the Future. Biff is president.
Wah, wah.
Well, with that said, I'm going to do that whole opening thing, and then we'll get right back to it. Hi, everybody. We're the Geek EZ.
We're sorry.
The following podcast is intended for mature audiences. The opinions expressed do not reflect this station or any affiliated partners. Listener discretion is advised.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Geek EZ.
And we're back.
Also, we're sorry.
And our front.
I'm sideways.
We're not sorry for either of those two.
Dun, 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 dun. And Kate, if you're out there listening somewhere, we miss you. I'd say that in Penguin, except I don't speak that. There you go.
That was a close approximation.
So let's see. Let's do the rundown and where we're gonna go. Let's see. I know.
You didn't respond to it. You just kept going. You've been cutting out on certain parts, like
We
Mark
lost
Hamill
Twitch,
and Carrie.
Well,
You think your storm might be affecting your internets?
but the storm isn't here anymore.
But that doesn't mean that it is
That's-
affecting it elsewhere.
Doesn't mean it's not affecting your internet.
Well, whatever. 21st century, we should be past this kind of stuff where electrical fields in the air should. Enough of this.
Funny thing is, I'm looking at Twitch right now and it says offline, but everything's lighting up.
It's back now.
It says offline.
It's
Now we're back up on YouTube.
The light bulb's on, but nobody's home.
That's my normal state. Although Firefly's comet fits, compensating for terrain.
Yes. Flux is not the word I would use, though.
Flocks?
Flux.
Use the flocks. Come here, doctor. Okay, I just refreshed the Twitch and it's offline.
Really?
Just went off again, yeah.
That is really weird. Give it a second. It'll catch up. Because we're live on YouTube.
Well, I commented on the Twitch chat that, it may be a little twitchy.
We're back.
Look, it was a valid pun.
It was a good one.
Anyway, so yeah, Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher confirmed back in the next Star Wars film. Got a captain. Oh, captain, our captain.
Yes. We have a captain, an old captain, going to be a new captain. Again. Which we can discuss at length on that one.
Wait, how can he be a new captain?
Well, he's
Oh,
the old
God,
captain, but
CG.
whatever. What's the other thing that was out there? There's more Discovery stuff that came from Glenn Hetrick for about the Klingon makeups, and there's other little tidbits that I've been reading about Discovery over the past couple of days.
Supposedly that's not like canon, though. That's his opinion or something.
Yeah, but he is the makeup designer, so if he says they're going to look different, they're going to look different. The whole stuff about why they looked different. That's his canon, yeah. But the actual look, when he says they are going to look different, I'm going to take him at his word because he's the guy designing the makeups.
As much I'm at the why part.
Oh, I don't care about the why.
Oh, I know another thing we have to discuss. Guardians 3.
But are they or are they not going to use the script? What's going on? That they haven't completely like ruled out that he can come back and direct another Marvel film?
Yeah.
The fact that Batista's pretty much said that he's only going to give as much as he's required to give.
Oh, he says he's leaving if they don't use the script.
So, based on those kind of reactions from their cast and whatnot, you have to really wonder how much it was a knee-jerk reaction. And, a wrong knee-jerk reaction.
From on Disney's standpoint?
Yeah.
Well, again, we talked about this stuff before.
We did,
from a company standpoint and a standpoint of the company, just like, I mean, I'm not, again, what Roseanne said is what was, I'm not going to say that it's the exact same, but they did the same thing. They were like, okay, this person is bad for our image, and they just did what they did.
Yeah, I know, and I'm not saying that that's not a logical thing for them to have done, although we didn't get much of the way from Alistair that day, unfortunately. But
And reasons.
But when we have so much of the cast and whatnot that's actually, reacting the way they are, because those guys, they know if there's something off about somebody. I know that sounds very vague, but like what's the guy from House of Cards? I can't think of his name right now.
Spacey.
Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, Kevin Spacey. You yourself said that everybody knew that there was something.
Yeah, that had been there. Well, not about the actual. It was rumors. There was like, okay, just keep things on it's like if you were with Kevin Spacey on a film, okay, that kept away, that kind of stuff. Yes, it was known. Yeah, that when it comes down to, again, he didn't commit a crime. As far as we know, nothing happened.
Well, I'll point out the big difference for me. Roseanne, none of the cast have stood by her or defended her.
No.
James Gunn, basically the whole main cast has been like, look, we want him back.
No, I'm not saying that they can't all be wrong. Hell, be wrong.
But I think it speaks a lot for how he is as a person and how he interacts with people versus how Roseanne interacts with people.
Now, devil's advocate on this, a lot of people said the same thing about Bill Cosby. A lot of people defended Cosby.
Well, again, not saying that people aren't wrong. With more evidence, opinions can change.
What's really funny is no one defended Spacey.
I think the big
that's
difference
kind of the
here
point.
Is because it's two similar subjects, excluding Cosby, because and Spacey, because that's a completely different thing. That's not people saying something. What Gunn said was over a decade ago. What Roseanne said was literally the day before. So it's
Gunn
literally
had also apologized for most of what he said already.
Again,
Yeah.
I'm thinking it was. I said this before. I said last week, and I'll say it. I don't think it was the fact that he said it. It was the way it was brought up. For one, was a horrific thing, and I will not condone. Because I am the conservative in this bunch, but I'm not condoning the way it was done. It was the person whose name was dropped that first day. And that's what they went after, was that a convicted pedophile and child pornographer was named extremely heavily in a blog. He was used. His name was used. Hudson Hiddleston's name was used. And that was where Disney went, okay, we're done.
Which is a distinct possibility.
I haven't seen a single article, though, that yeah, they mentioned Houston, but I haven't seen none of the articles I've read have mentioned his kingdom.
Aura's X, what is it? How do you say that? Aura's X, whatever that is. There's a few where they put his name in there, and I was like, but a lot of them just glossed over it. Oh, he just said these things. The big one was that Hudson Hiddleston's name was on there, and having just been convicted in Los Angeles, and it was other places in the news in Los Angeles that this guy was convicted of child pornography charges and pedophile charges and stuff, and pled guilty to them. That was a big deal. So it was like, okay, well, you know what? Let's just kind of cut the cord right here, and we'll walk out and we'll move on from there. I don't know. I wasn't in the meetings. I don't know why they did it, but they did it because even though that would be my reasoning. I was like, wait a second, this dude just named a pedophile, and he's been seen with this guy, blah, blah, blah. No, it's not convictable, Firefly. But the idea that someone associates with someone who did act on it and actually admitted to acting on it, that's the big deal.
Which, considering what Disney is, yeah, I can... Again, I don't fault the logic behind it. However, again, need more... Personally, I would say you need more evidence before you just jump down on that particular grenade. Of course, we don't know. Things may change down the road. I've seen some rumors that Disney's considering changing their mind.
Well, I heard about the script. They were going to change. They were going to keep his script. Which, you know what? If they want to keep his script, keep his script. And you know what? If they bring him back, I mean, if he really is sincere and everybody is backing him up on this, when they bring him back, bring him back. But there is going to be he's going to have eyeballs on him now.
Well, the reason this all came out is because he had a certain group of individuals' eyeballs on him.
True. Again, I'm not condoning that. I really am not. The only thing that still raises my eyebrows is his association with this guy. On multiple occasions, they have been photographed together at parties. They have interacted. That is my only, because when you have a guy who's literally it wasn't just one or two tweets either. It was a lot. There was a lot of boy rape and NAMBLA comments and jokes about like this. And then you find out that he hangs out with this one dude. It does paint a picture. And it's not a pretty picture. So.
Speaking on that same note, apparently someone pointed out to me, because I'm doing this thing on Facebook where it's 13 days of your favorite TV shows. Yeah. And one of them for me was Rurouni Kenshin. And the first thing that somebody commented on that was, I heard that the creator is a convicted pedophile. It's like,
of one? What?
Yes, he's a convicted pedophile, and no, he's not. That's neither here. It's the fact that you opened up with a comment. It's like, this is just a favorite show, man. You don't hit somebody like that. And then you should actually look into it, because I did, and yeah, he was fined for having questionable materials on his computer, but not actually convicted as a pedophile. Not that I'm also saying that this, exonerates him. Just the same. It's just like, it doesn't take away the fact that I enjoyed that show.
Well, I mean, I've been struggle with one of the web stories of the author being really creepy towards, women and possibly teenagers, and so it's like I'm really torn on whether I should keep reading it or not.
Well, in the case of Rurouni Kenshin, that's been out for such a long time, and there was a lot of people involved in that. So I'm not going to let the fact that the creator was, fined for that. that doesn't affect the show as a whole. Also, I don't get anything from him anyways for anything else, so yeah. It's just like, why would you open up with that, though? And somebody's like, this is what I really enjoy. He's a pedophile. Are you fucking kidding me?
There aren't. Like the guy who directed
Oh, it's
Who
about him.
is. He is a convicted pedophile. He raped a 12-year-old boy.
Oh my.
Yet the movie still came out and blah, 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 and he's still allowed to work.
This is a really
It's a really weird conversation.
Let's move on.
Yes, now we're going to talk about date rape.
Puppies.
Did you just say date rape? No,
Yes.
no, not fun. No.
I was being facetious.
Okay.
Because that's also terrible, terrible conversation. Terrible topic. And it does deserve to be talked about, but not here.
How about the topic of
so.
No Man's Sky is actually pretty good now.
I can go ahead and tell you we're going to lose any monetization we could have potentially had on this video.
Which part?
The whole first part.
No, because it's just that these opinions are opinions for ourselves, and frankly, we're not exactly supporting any of that. So,
But
anyway.
still, it's the subject matter. Yeah, there's no money coming out of this episode.
what money anyway, man?
I don't know. I think Adam's making bank. Just doesn't tell him.
No.
It's one
If
of
I
those
was making,
conspiracy
no,
theories.
believe me, if I was making bank, I would so share the. I would very much share the wealth.
But as Badger says, yes, No Man's Sky is the good. Is it perfect? Then no.
Well, of course not. It just got out of alpha.
Ay.
You're not wrong.
Sorry, I had to.
Yeah, now it's now it's in the beta time, beta test period.
Got a question: if your internet provider will not let you play the game, are they a beta blocker?
Well, I mean, to be fair, it had a less alpha and beta than even what's that other one? The start. What's the one that Don likes?
Chipotle?
Taco Bell?
No, game. The one that everyone's been crowdfunding.
Star Citizen?
Star Citizen. Thank you. At least it had
Burger
less,
Time?
At least it had less development time than Star Citizen.
You're not wrong.
But Star Citizen's got a lot more going for it, I guess. Or they're going to do a lot more with it? I'm not sure.
Well, potentially.
Basically, 2 games in one.
Plus a whole lot of more depth.
The game has this No Man's Sky. They really did make some improvements. This is what the game should have been at launch, and it's finally where it should have been at launch. And it is addicting.
Yeah, these guys won't stop playing it.
Yep, I'm playing it right now.
I'm launching it right now.
Not telling you what I'm doing right now.
This is a kid-friendly show, intended for mature audiences.
I was just checking my Twitter.
See if it exploded.
No, I had responded to.
He was hoping Rob Layfield had slid into his DMs.
Rob Liefeld will never talk to me. But no, I actually had responded to the keeper of the gate, Robert. Was it? What's his name?
Robert Meyer Burnett.
Thank you. I always get the Meyer and Burnett backwards, but again, he's going off on Discovery, how it's not canon because the Enterprise looks different, and I just had to. I posted a little GIF comment from Ghostbusters. Are you the gatekeeper? because no matter how you look at it, the canon is created and owned and made by the people who make the show, not by people who watch it.
Yep.
You don't like it, don't watch it. No one's forcing you. No one's holding a gun to your head and saying you must watch Star Trek. It's not 1967 anymore, or 1992, or was it 19? When did Deep Space Nine come out?
I thought it was 92.
Was it 92?
Yeah, because Next Gen was 87, wasn't it?
Voyager was 96.
I think Enterprise was 2003, wasn't it?
No, 2001.
2001.
Because it actually aired a week after September 11th,
That's right.
and there was a big controversy over whether or not to leave the silo exploding scene in.
Really?
And there was talk about holding back because of that scene. Oh, I mean, it was a week and a half, 2 weeks. It was only 2. It was like 2 weeks later.
Yeah, but it was
9/11.
written before that.
It doesn't matter. It's like, why did they pull the Spider-Man trailers out of the theaters? The trailer came out before that happened, yet they pulled the trailers where the bad guy helicopter was strung up between the two towers.
Mm-hmm.
It would still be there. I mean, I can tell you right now, it didn't bother me, but there were other things that bothered me when I saw them on screen. But I was there, so it's a whole different world.
I'll be right back.
I don't know. I can understand people's complaining. I had the same complaint. Some of it just looked a little too much. But then when you go back and go watch The Next Generation. Look how dated that looks. Right up until Nemesis, it still looks dated. It's like they kept the aesthetic for as long as they could. And then when Enterprise pushed that aesthetic, people complained. And it was like, oh, they got touch panel televisions, and they got this, and they got that, and it doesn't look like what it did, and it's supposed to be set 100 years before, but the technology looks more advanced. But it's like, well, it's because the technology is more advanced.
It's not difficult to be more advanced than the 1960s, when that was what they considered the height of computer tech.
I mean, the
Buttons and knobs.
The computers that Picard had on his table look so dated compared to what we have nowadays. I mean, I have literally sitting right next to me, I have a computer that is 4 inches by 2 inches that goes in my pocket, and it has the entire information of the world on it. It's 2018. Things change. Technology grows. Story stays good. As long as it'll be my beef about Discoveries first. There wasn't enough of the thinking man in there. It was boom, boom, shoot 'em up, boom, boom, shoot 'em ups. And I'm hoping they don't go boom, boom, shoot 'em up all the way through season 2.
Well, I think they probably wouldn't have been so bad if they just stuck to kind of keeping it within that timeline frame. Because if you think about it, if you're trying to make it look like it's got some aspects of modern life in it, you're already doing it wrong for that particular universe, because there is no World War III. At least we hope not. There has been no eugenics wars. So technology has not devolved or whatever that may have happened in such a situation. Those things didn't take place. So if you try to apply modern times real world to Star Trek, you're already doing it wrong, because they're two different timelines. That's the way to look at it. Now, that said, I didn't think that they did that wrong with what they did in Enterprise. I think it worked well enough. It's like, well, maybe they actually did have some of that stuff, and then as they got further out, they had to, change technology that looked more, retro, because that was what they discovered worked better at the time. They could have explained it any number of ways that they wanted to. And you're right, yeah, TNG all the way up to Nemesis, Voyager, whatnot does look dated, but you keep it nice and slick enough, it doesn't matter that much. Again, as you pointed out, it's the stories that make the difference.
Now, I will say, this is where Star Wars was better. Because
They don't care?
Well, no, because Star Wars' technology was never defined. Not the same way that Star Trek's was. The stuff in the background and the sets and stuff, they were not geared towards a specific thing. And if you go and look at all the stuff that they have laid out, whether it be the Old Republic stuff, it all kind of just stayed the same. It all looks the same. It's just a slight variance on it. And they kind of came up and was like, okay, well, we hit a technological plateau and stayed there for 10,000 years.
4,000.
No, they had lightsabers 10,000 years ago.
They had
battery packs.
They had a form of lightsaber.
When did they get hyperdrive?
After the Rakata fell.
All right, well, 4,000 years to have a technological plateau is still a long time.
Well, it is, but then again, all we have to do is look to Games Workshop and Warhammer 40K, and dear Lord, you're not just talking a technological plateau. You're starting to see a de-evolution.
It's devolving.
It really is. That particular universe doesn't really work.
Badger.
Go get it.
I'm surprised Alistair didn't chime in on that.
Sorry. Badger was holding something. That's Class C for me, Badger. Badger was holding a really cool ship, but that was not cool for me.
You're too cool for school.
Hey, speaking of ships, guess who's back on Star Trek Online and played last night?
Oh my god!
Somebody, not you?
No, it was me.
What?
I played the first round of the new Deep Space Nine thing.
Well, you waited long enough because I think they've managed to fix some of the bugs.
I will say it's kind of cool to see my character sitting there with like Odo and all those guys at the table. It was cool.
You are a very important person.
And Odo doing his thing. It's like, oh, Odo. It's probably one of my characters.
So I guess Tilly is going to be hosting the DSC portion of Stowe.
Oh, dear Lord.
Yep.
Or at least playing a major part.
Yeah, there's going to be a discovery component to Stowe now.
I don't mind the discovery component. I was just, if we ever needed a giant tardigrade to eat somebody.
I was reading an article.
I like Tilly.
I know it's a new Picard show, but I saw an article and I don't know where it was. Someone was complaining that the new Picard show is that they're pandering away from what's the word? Not exclusivism. They were being progressive by having a black female actress as the lead character, and now they're taking a quote back step by casting a white lead again. I don't remember where I read that.
I've seen a few of those pop up.
But it's like, do you realize who this is?
He is Captain Picard. You can't change his ethnicity.
Dude, they could have made it a Sulu show, and people would still be complaining.
I would flip my shit if they did.
Because it would be a Asian male.
Yes. Someone would have some kind of complaint somewhere along the line. Oh my.
It's the nature of the world we live in.
Everybody complains.
To Captain Sulu for a little while, maybe, later years, obviously. And kind of explore a little bit of that, how does he pass the torch on? Something like that. I think that would be kind of neat, too. Well, of course, I'm still hoping that we would get a Enterprise B era.
Really?
Yeah. Is pretty much blanked out. We know what happens with the C. You really can't make much of a, show or film out of that. Well, actually, they did. They made an episode.
Harriman has a bunch of book stuff, I believe, where it turns out like he's a spy, Federation spy, and all this other stuff.
Yeah, I think I read that book. It was called Next. Really? Nothing?
No.
Oh.
Nope.
Was that one S class, Balster?
A.
But you know, actually, it would be cool if you go with the Enterprise B era, and you know they do several. Say it goes for several seasons, and then they can end it with, we still don't know what happened to the Enterprise. It just the episode ends with them, Starfleet getting command having a meetings like, we've lost contact with the Enterprise. Where was that last seen? That's just it. We don't know. They were heading in this direction. That's it. And you could still leave it a mystery as to what happened to her.
The only problem there is you're still doing a prequel show to other shows. This is now, I'm laughing because I see the complaints now about the Picard show, and they're like, oh, and they're giving this complaint and that complaint. It's like, didn't you guys want a continuation of what happened after the Next Generation? This is what everybody has been asking for. They finally say we're going to get it.
Technically, the JJ movies are that, though.
No,
but they're still going back. Well, yes, technically the JJs are because of where they put it. Yes, because of the Spock thing. But the whole deal was, everybody wanted a show that's like, go forward, tell us what happened after that. And now that we're going to get it, and people are still complaining.
Yeah, they'd complain regardless.
Logical complaint that I've seen so far over the past few. Oh, we're dead again. Here we go. Stream complete. What is going on? And we're back up on. There we go. My apologies to those out there watching. I guess because of the distance storm now, the internet connections are being iffy. Can you guys still hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. But the only legitimate complaint I've seen over the past few days, whether it be Star Wars or Star, is that at least in another news, water is wet.
Yeah, that's kind of a weird one.
Yeah, the comment sections alone on all of those on Facebook were cracking me up. Because it was like, this is really news. Is R2 going to be there too? Oh, God forbid R2 shows back up, or C-3PO.
Wait, are they going to have lightsabers in this one?
Did you guys see did I post a video? I don't think I put it on the. Rey's parents are Han Solo and Kira.
No.
And that after Han left, he hooked back up with Kira, and there was a child. Which is why her and Kylo are connected, because they share a father.
I think he and Kira are on two very different paths.
You know what? They should just make her go bad. She's already skirting that line. Make her turn bad, and then all of a sudden we find out that Poe is the actual Force user that was, and not Mr. Captain Obvious that he was in. I mean, he was completely useless in The Last Jedi, and as much as I like that film, he was useless.
I still think, I still believe in our Lord and Savior, Darth Jar Jar.
He just walked out there in front. He just walked out there in front of like a squadron of walkers, and you're sitting there wondering to yourself, "What's he doing? Huh? You are so stupid." What was the other one? The other obvious thing, what's her name stayed back on the ship, and when she started turning around and someone said she's leaving, he's like, "No, she's not. She's doing something. I'm like, really, dude? Really?
Is a case of them going, well, we were supposed to kill him off last film.
It got better.
That's exactly. I think that's what it was.
We're not sure what to do with his character now.
Hopefully, JJ will have fixed all that. And maybe he'll go and hang out with George and pick George's brain.
And ignore all the taxation stuff.
Yeah.
They tend to ignore Lucas anyway.
I did hear, what was it, the rumor that they're going to split it into 2 films?
I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, that just popped up today on my feed somewhere, or one of those, where rumored that they might split episode 9 into 2 films.
Why? They haven't yet made a film that actually requires it. And let's face it, none of the Star Wars films at any point in time has ever had enough content in it that we know of to warrant splitting.
Yeah. Just make it a 2.5 hour long movie and we're all good. Speaking of that, of lengthwise and all that kind of stuff, I threw on my my video where I have all the Star Wars films on one screen at one time. All 9 of, or all 8 of them right now. And my kids were all taking bets as to which one would end first. And there were the second longest is the Attack of the Clones, but The Last Jedi runs the longest. And we are all over the place, just dropping left and right on streams. How's Twitch looking, by the way?
Well, still live at the moment.
But yeah, let's see. New Hope ended, and I think there were still 25 minutes, if not more. How does
Well,
the stream sound? What does the fox say?
Yeah, I'm asking. He's not really a fox. He's more of a firefly, you know. He's an insect that lights up. Or he's a G.I. Joe villain.
You guys really need to play Battlefront 2?
Don't have it.
Oh. I will say, there are some levels that just suck royally. Like when you're on Kashyyyk, that is just a horrible level. It's just a horrible level. It's a horrible fight. It's very one-sided no matter how you look at it. But I think one of the best is when you're on Naboo, because it really is like playing the Clone Wars TV show. You have to take out an MMT, and you have to run and shoot it with these ion cannons that you have to pick up that are laid around the city, and you get blasted while you're doing it. There's a lot of death involved. But when they finally storm the castle, it really is the game of who has the high ground. And unless one team is extreme, I mean, I've been in some where I played one today, the battle lasted in the throne room because they have to take the throne room. The battle in the throne room lasted for 25 minutes. And it was nothing but 20 people on each side just unleashing everything they had. There was not a single place in the room where you could stand that you could get by something. It was a crossfire upon crossfire upon crossfire upon grenades going off, the Emperor jumping around shooting lightning out of his hands, Luke Skywalker shooting people left and right, Darth Maul shooting around. It was insane. It's probably one of the best levels in the game, or one of the best maps in the game.
It's the one that you enjoy the most.
It really is. It really, I mean, I don't think there's anybody that doesn't, and I've actually watched, I'll follow the chats and stuff, and I'll jump in, and where they're like, let them have it, let them have it, let them have it, let them come, let them come, let them come, let them come. Because you just watch, and you have 100 troops, and you run in, you get 100 troops, and if you do good, and they come in, and you have a good run, your reinforcements brings your level back up to 100, and you just watch the numbers drop from 100 down, and they dwindle and they dwindle and they dwindle, and it is probably one of the most intense parts of the game. Followed very closely by Hoth, which is very much the same, because if you're playing the rebels, you have to take the AT-AT out before they get close. And I've only been in a couple of games where the AT-ATs have actually been dropped. You're usually fighting to the last.
Well, didn't you say the Stormtrooper versus Ewok stuff was really tense?
Yes. And I think I found a way. Oh no, I didn't find a way around it because you're only allowed one weapon. I got yelled at. I got called a hacker the other day because I got a lucky headshot in, and there is a rifle that the heavy troopers use that has a night scope that sees heat instead, that uses IR. So all I got to do is put that scope up, and I can see you. I can see them through doors. So it kind of gives you an edge if you want to check to see who's coming. You look through, you can pick it up, you can see the heat of the characters through the doors, and you're like, oh crap, there's somebody right behind this door. I'm not going to. But yeah, the Ewok one is beyond tense because you can't see anything. You really can't see anything. You have a very narrow. I mean, and the little bastards come up everywhere, and they could be standing right behind you. You'd never know. And they see perfectly in the dark. When you're playing as an Ewok, you have perfect night vision.
As I recall, didn't you actually say it was one of the scariest ones you've ever done?
Yeah, and I've played a couple of horror games. It really is scary because, especially if you're doing it in a room where there's no lights on and and you have it full screen, because it's pitch black. And when your flashlight goes out, you have to wait 15, 20 seconds for it to charge back up. So you're in the dark, and you can hear from overhead, and you don't even know they're there.
Son of a...
We would appear to be offline on YouTube, and we're back up on YouTube.
It's
release
definitely one of
recording?
those days. Yeah, Twitch is still going.
Yeah, Firefly, you're right. The Stormtroopers should have advanced optics,
Yeah, otherwise, what's the point of the helmet?
but it's still a very tense. It's in the game now. Still, you can still play it. It's one they kept it, and they brought Palpatine back. They took him out of the game for overpowered. Like, get was zapped by his lightning once, and you're done. But he's back, and he's still a little OP. And I was like, oh man, this isn't fair. This guy's got like a level. And I still want to know what kind of life do you not have to level up Palpatine to a 70? Seriously,
You apparently have none.
dear Lord. It's like you see these guys with like I've got I think a level 12 Kylo Ren, and I went up against like a level 55 Luke Skywalker. He hit me 3 times. It's like zabam, zabam, zabam. I'm done. And the funniest thing is, I think I noticed that newer players and stuff. Now, I mean, my handle on the game is Casual Gaming Noob. It's funny that I have that name and I come out with a level 70 heavy, and that's what I use all the time. It's the heavy class trooper. And if you are on the team that's not being counted, you have infinite lives. And it was on the Camino or on the Naboo one where it's like you're supposed to defend the guys that have the ion cannons or the ion launchers because they can't fire anything but that when they're holding it. So you try to travel in groups, and the easiest way to defend that guy and keep him from getting shot is to run out, because I know I'm going to respawn. It's not going to be a big deal. So it's like the guy will be sitting there charging up the cannon. It takes about 10, 15 seconds to where it can fire. So while he's holding, run out in front of him and stand there and jump around. And I'd make myself a target. So they're shooting me instead of him. They take me out, and then he fires off the thing, and it's done. And it works every single time. Every single time.
I don't call that hacking. I call that figured out the game.
Yeah. Well, it just become everybody's like, oh, look, target, and they all fire at me at the same time. So I'll get hit, and I'll jump around, run around, and try to keep myself from dying too quickly so he can get the shot off. But works every single time.
Look at me! Look at me! Distraction!
Yeah, because my death doesn't count. Yours does. If you take one of them out, it counts because their numbers dwindle by one, and every time if they get below a 50, then they're reinforced. You guys really need to play the game so we can go in there. And I mean, it's really is just fun to just shoot stuff.
Well, if I play it, it'll be on my Xbone.
Like I said, I don't own it.
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't know it either. I'm saying if I were to get it, it would be for my Xbone.
Why it sucks on those?
Can't do that.
Because my computer sucks.
Which
I
is
have
valid.
I have Battlefront 1 for the Xbone, and I just do not. I mean, the aiming sucks.
Yeah, I don't never understood how anybody aims with those stupid little thumb controllers.
Nope. And it does have aim assist, but I'd much rather use mouse.
Well, since we are on the subject of Star Wars,
Hmm.
I did not go to Gen Con this year, but I knew several people who did. And they got pictures of what fans rolling out for Star Wars, like for Legions. And oh my god, those miniatures look so good, but I don't want to get it because it's all got to be built and painted. 40K is bad enough. Seriously. But that's not the most interesting, fascinating, fun thing that they came out with. Let me see if I can actually get the link. They came out with a new ship, at least one new ship for Star Wars Armada.
That's the full scale or the bigger scale ones?
That's the different scale ship game, yes. Yeah, here, let me just give you this picture here.
Drop a link and I'll drop it on the thing.
That's what they announced. And it is a admittedly gorgeous model. I have a mighty need. But not so mighty as that price tag.
Why is it so not pointy in the front?
Because that's in the box.
Oh.
What's in the box?
Oh, that's right. I'm looking at the box. I'm looking at the molding in the box. I'm like, what's wrong with this thing?
Yeah, I dropped the link to the actual.
I have it. Yeah, it's
page.
on the stream.
Isn't that thing like a foot long?
I'm not sure. It's definitely large.
You're not really playing miniatures at that point.
That's impressive, though. I have to have that.
For $200.
I have to have that.
I'm in the same boat. I want one, but that's so
I think I need that before I need a print from Stowe.
Well, this is still cheaper than getting a print from Stowe.
Oh, yeah.
And this is fully painted. Yeah, the thing's so big it has 2 stands to hold it up, and 6 firing arcs.
I mean, it's not in scale to my other stuff, but I would love to have a Star Destroyer to scale of the blockade runner.
They sell those.
I think it would be like a table.
Oh, you mean that to scale?
Yeah. To the Tantivy I have that you got me? Because technically it would probably about the same size as the TV stand that I have it sitting on right now.
Well, that second image I dropped, those are all to a good scale to each other. The only things in the Armada game that's not to scale would actually be the fighters and other tiny ships. And the Imperial Star Destroyers are not small. Yeah,
Wait a second. What's with the smaller scale Star Destroyer?
Victory.
That's a victory.
The other one's what? The Executor class? What's the other class?
All right, so you got a Victory class Star Destroyer, then there's an Imperial Star Destroyer.
I didn't realize the size difference was that big.
Yeah, the
Where
Imperials
have we seen
pretty big.
victories? When have we seen?
We've seen them in the video games. They've
Okay.
actually never put them on screen, even though honestly they should have. But for whatever reason, Lucas wanted to go with Venator. Fine, whatever. The Venator is a good ship too. I'm cool with it. Essentially, though, the victories are supposed to be more the battleships, frontline battleships, and the Venator was supposed to be the carriers that also doubled as battleships, sort of.
And then if you go off of the Legends books, there's like the Imperial 2 or whatever, the Instar Deuce.
It's an updated version of an Imperial. It's now bigger.
No, it is bigger.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
You're wrong.
I love when you do this. Back and forth, back and forth. I still want that. Look how that's just so nice.
I know, right?
Are you
and when you
sure it's
really-
not bigger?
They're the exact same size.
That's what she said.
Then why is the Instar Deuce? Why does it suffer from trench run syndrome? Or
Because
whatever?
they increase the number of guns on it.
More
Basically,
time.
it's just a different variant of the same ship. It's a lot like the Abrams tanks. You got different variants of it. There's the M1, the M1A1, M1A2, etc., etc. This M-Star Deuce is basically just M-Star A1 or A2, as a case may be. But in terms of actual length, they're the exact same size. Which, as I recall, is about 1,600 meters, whereas the Victory was 900. And the Superstar Destroyer, we have no idea because they keep on futzing about with the numbers. If we put JJ in charge of that, well, they'd still be bringing the ship under the screen by the end of the film.
It's a BFS.
Oh, right?
Now, what was it? Then the Emperor. What was it? The Emperor's one they had in Dark Empire.
The
Where
Eclipse.
The Eclipse, where it dwarfed everything else, and it had that Sun Eater thing, or that whatever Planet Eater in the front end of it.
Oh, no, it had its own planet crust cracker deal.
Yeah.
Super laser.
Where do
It
they
just-
mine the stuff for this? I mean, the whole galaxy doesn't have enough metal for these things. That's a lot of dunium.
And it's like that it was made out of like Durasteel or something, which is a bit more common than the other material.
Well, yeah, dunium is the big one now. It's in all the comic books, and it's in all the books. Everybody's mining dunium.
Well, it is confirmed Samuel L. Jackson and Colby Smulders will return as Nick Fury and Maria Hill in the next Spider-Man movie.
Well, it's going to be a very short film. Mr. Stark, I don't feel good. The end.
And you know they're coming back.
I know they're coming back.
They're in the Soul Stone, man.
Oh, did you see where they confirmed that he did use the Soul Stone one other time?
No.
Yeah, they confirmed when he separates Strange from his astral form, that's him using the Soul Stone. That's the only other time it lights up.
Oh, that's true. Didn't think about that one.
My apologies to anybody watching on YouTube. YouTube is just buffering like crazy right now.
Did you read/hear the time paradox theory related to the time stone?
No.
the idea was that, in a nutshell, because the only time we ever see the time stone glowing is when it's used and when it's being handed to Thanos. So the theory is that Strange did not use his greatest weapon because he sent it into the future to be used by the remaining Avengers to stop Thanos, and then it was sent back in time, and thus Thanos ended up using something that was instrumental to his own defeat, and that's why it destroyed the gauntlet.
Huh.
It's a paradox. Predestination paradox. Thank you, Star Trek.
I had a paradox back in the 90s.
Oh,
I see what you did there.
I think I still have them. They're really comfortable boots.
You would be a Doc Martin person.
Dude, they were awesome. And then look really...
And he broke up.
Broke up with who?
You did. Just
I
suddenly
broke up?
cut out.
Yeah, well...
You're pulling a good win.
Good win. Yeah, but I'm not in BFE Canada.
Is it in Canada?
Canadian?
Yeah, from Canada.
Doesn't... Wait. Did they not confirm that Daredevil is coming out at the end of this year?
Yes.
And I guess that they're talking about more Marvel TV shows.
Yep.
Very interesting. Oh, well, speaking of that, since we're going into this, because Disney will be starting their own streaming thing, and they have confirmed that we know R-rated films on their streaming, on Disney's streaming thing, but the only Star Wars movies that we will see will be the new ones after the streaming service starts. Even though they're fighting right now with Turner to get the rights back to the streaming of the other films. I just want the 20th Century Fox logo in front of my Star Wars movies.
And Ant-Man and the Wasp will be the last movie to stream on Netflix.
Yes.
Well, as told you, I wasn't going to be surprised if they announced that, and I'm not. I'm not going to be able to see the Clone Wars get finished. Not for a while, anyway.
Well, what they're going to have to do, if they are planning on doing all these streaming things, is they're going to have to ease up on that restriction to where you have to have a cable subscription to watch these things. If this is where everyone's going, well, we're going to be streaming this and streaming that, and cable TV is going to go the way of the dodo and all this kind of stuff. Well, then you better figure out a way to do this.
And keep it cheap.
Well, I'm sure the streaming service isn't going to a Netflix type service where you pay for it.
Yeah.
Well, cable will be a thing of the past. Everything's going to go straight to just internet.
But that's still form.
Well, what I'm saying is no one's going to be paying for, like, cable and HBO sort of things. Their package will be just internet.
Well, if cable was smart, they'd go a la carte and stop having packages altogether. Just let you pick what channels you want and have prices for the channels.
People have been arguing that for years.
But they don't want
cable companies refuse.
It would be more expensive.
How?
Yeah, because they already set prices and deals for the packages for, it's like if you just wanted CBS and the main networks and like TNT and Cartoon Network, that would go, they would have to charge you more because for them to get them and have a blanket thing, that's where they're making their money, is because they're blanketing everybody with channels they don't want, and everybody's paying a rate that way. I got to look into it. It's the hang. You were just picking what you wanted to watch.
But we're kind of doing that anyway right now with Netflix and Hulu,
True.
Disney XD, CBS All Access.
But it's still all there at your fingertips for one price. You just choose not to watch it. If you get Hulu, everything that Hulu has comes in your subscription. You just choose not to watch certain stuff because it's not your cup of tea. It's the same thing with cable.
But you're still locked into, well, if you want to see this content, you got to be on our channel or on our streaming service, whatever. It's an awful lot like what used to be back in the day with like telephones.
True.
If you wanted a telephone, you needed to rent it from the company. Otherwise, it wouldn't work. You know, you wouldn't be able to call anybody. Oh, you want to talk to somebody on that telephone line? Can't do that. So not on our phone.
I'm just hoping Disney's price point isn't too high.
I just know that I'm not going to pay into it.
They would need to keep it, competitive.
Amazon is cool. You pay a lump sum of $110 and you get it for a year and it's all good.
No.
That's how Prime is done.
They offered it monthly. It wasn't offered as a year.
Yes, it was.
It's offered as both.
I didn't see a year option.
I have it by the year.
Yeah, so do I. And I got in just before the price went up, so I got it for $100. And you know what's sad though? Amazon, I mean, it's great and all that, but they don't have enough on there. They really don't. Their content, if you put them up against Hulu and Netflix, their content is very lacking.
They got the first 3 Jaws movies.
Yeah, and they have Hazard.
Babylon 5.
They have all of Babylon 5. Oh man, it is so hard watching that first couple of seasons on Babylon 5.
The first season especially.
Oh.
I love B5, but that first season is painful.
It's like watching something they shot in someone's garage.
The story quality picks up with season 2, but then the actual production quality in season 3 is like, well, they're not going to cancel us, guys. We can start doing good.
Yeah, it sounds hollow in the first season. It's like, did you not have a soundproof stage when you made this?
The thing is, you have to actually at least watch a synopsis of the first season to understand everything.
Very true. That is very true. That, and I mean, I don't mind being able to go watch the Dukes of Hazzard. They have some really bad schlock 1970s and 80s horror films on there too. And they have Battle Beyond the Stars, which is, if you ever wanted to see a movie about a spaceship with a female voice that's got boobs, that's the one to watch.
Why would I watch a movie about that when I can watch Gene Roddenberry's Andromeda?
That's on there too, isn't it?
Why would I watch that when I can just watch other things?
Andromeda was good till the very end.
I actually liked Earth Final Conflict too.
Yeah, so did I. Is that the one where he had the gun in his wrist? Like the alien gun that attached to his wrist? Or something like that?
I think so. That was another show where there was like the main character kind of just in the first 2 seasons disappears and they bring a new guy in and it was like, oh, okay, just like Babylon 5 did.
That the whole Babylon 5 was very confusing at the very. It's like, well, where's Sinclair?
He got in. What's the name of the ship? Why can't I remember the name of the ships? The Furies?
Star Furies?
Was that what it was called?
Star Furies are the fighters.
Yeah, didn't he get in one and just go?
He ended up becoming the ambassador from Earth.
Yeah, he becomes the Earth. Yeah, the Mimbar.
And then he becomes Space Jesus.
Space Jesus.
Now, I did not like what they did. I think Delenn, that was her name, right?
Mm-hmm.
I liked her better in full makeup. I don't even know the story behind all that. Why did she all of a sudden look different?
She made herself a mix of Minbari and human.
She GMO'd herself?
She did the same thing Sinclair does later in the series.
And he looks more Mimbar.
Yep. He becomes, what's his name?
Valen.
Valen.
I always liked the Vorlons.
Vorlons are cool. The entire concept of the first ones is cool. I really like the Vorlon. Those two ancient races who kind of started off with the whole idea of, we're going to, help raise up the younger races, but then they had two completely conflicting ideas.
And never ever let it be said that even though the Centauris look silly, that they are not someone you can go mess with them. Oh, look at that. Oh my god, he's got a gun. And pointy teeth.
And their Empress was also Michelle Barrett.
My old makeup effects teacher, Jerry Gergley, went on. He left to go work on that show for the last 3 or 4 seasons. He worked for Optic Nerve, and which is Glenn Hetrick's thing. They were doing it, and he came back and he brought some of the stuff. He brought Jakar's head, like the cowl and stuff he wears, and the stories he could tell you about Andreas Katsilis. Guy was a perv. He was like a walking cat call.
So he was his character?
Oh yeah. He says he is.
Jakar was not the perv.
Oh no, you're right. Sorry.
No, they said a couple of students went to go hang out with him on set for I think his second year there, and they came back and said, "Oh yeah, he really enjoys the young ladies." Not to the point where he was like over the line. He was a horny old man. Got to see the contact lenses. Those were pretty sweet. Ah, the good old days. Speaking about the good old days, today is the 32nd birthday of Transformers the movie.
Indeed, which is going to be out on September 27th.
Yes, one night only, and it's not showing anywhere near me.
Nor really near me.
I think the closest to me is Cincinnati, and that's a 4-hour drive. Sorry, I like the movie, but not that much. And especially not for, Fathom Events prices. They crazy sometimes.
It's true. It's like, I'd want to do it. I'd love to do it just because I think it'd be a fun experience, but I'm not willing to travel that far.
I mean, I own it on Blu-ray, so I mean, I just put it up on the 4K TV, and it'll be just as good, right?
It's not the same. It's kind of like when you saw, Wrath of Khan on the big screen. It's a different experience.
True. I know later this month they're having the Cleveland Orchestra is going to be doing. We have a festival place, Blossom, and it's a big music area. They have a nice amphitheater and all that kind of stuff. They're doing Star Wars on screen with the Cleveland Orchestra actually doing the soundtrack live. So I do want to go see that. Most definitely. Because we took my son to go see them do the music of George Lucas, and we had pretty good seats, and it was impressive. Very impressive. The Cleveland
Most
Orchestra.
impressive?
Most impressive. It was most impressive. Because you hear that music all the time, but to actually watch musicians play it, it's a whole different world.
I've always wanted to see the actual Boston Pop play it live.
Well, it would be the London Symphony Orchestra that you want to see play it live. Because they're the ones that did the first 6 movies. And you can tell because the Sony, whoever they got doing it for the next 2 films, while they're good, it just doesn't sound the same. That opening fanfare just doesn't sound the same.
I don't know. I know I had the Boston Pop Star Wars album and listened to it like nonstop when I was little.
Yeah, these young whippersnappers today just don't know they just don't understand.
And I had it on vinyl.
Yeah, me too. I still have the vinyl. I have the vinyl Star Wars. I have the story of Star Wars, the story of The Empire Strikes Back, and that was what we had before VHS, folks. That's how we used our imaginations.
What is that?
It's what kids need to be taught to use again, I guess. Kind of pushing that on my kids right now, which they're doing a good job. My older son and my daughter are writing a comic book. The Crafter.
Yeah.
He's a super. Get sued, so we're changing it. So we put it. He goes, and he kept asking me. He's like, "Will I get in trouble for using this?" I was like, "Yeah, if you really want to go through with this, yes, you can get in trouble for using that name because it is copyrighted." Well, okay, well, what if I change it to this? I was like, "Then you're fine. Just make sure that they look different." So yeah, I guess they've got it all laid out. They have a story. They have like 10 different bad guys. They've got a sidekick. And they used Minecraft as the basis for this. So one of the bad guys he is literally built out of TNT boxes. And everybody's kind of squarey looking.
So after all you talk about how you don't want to do comic books, you're doing comic books.
I'm not, they are. I'm just giving them hints.
Oh, I figured they were writing and you were providing.
Oh no. My son is writing and my daughter is drawing it.
Because square people are easier to draw compared to, actual curves and whatnot, admittedly. No, I'm down with it.
I was like, you know what? Go ahead. You guys, they went out for a walk. We go for a walk. I was like, go ahead. Just stay in the neighborhood. You can go to the set, go around. And they went for a walk and they came back and they had 10 characters thought out, 10 bad guys thought out, and all their names. And they had situations and stuff. I was like, well, you need to write all this down so you remember it. And they were like, they're all gung-ho about it. They got the cover for everything already.
Speaking of comics, I saw one that was the most craziest premise.
Is that the Robots and Princesses?
Yes. And I finally read it.
I read it.
It's actually not bad.
No, it's not.
The art's
weird.
Yeah, it is definitely weird. The art's decent.
Art's decent, but I'm going to. Because it was intriguing. You said about it. You talked about it last week, and I was like, I'm going to have to see what I can find.
Yeah, I still don't really know what to make of it, but you're right. It's definitely got... it's got you curious.
In other comic news, Batman's getting his trunks back.
And they didn't get married.
And of course they didn't get married. But I guess with Bendis bringing back the old suit on Superman, DC's going back to the old school look. Batman's getting his old costume back. Which is good, because I could not stand that black bat with the yellow outline. That was ridiculous.
What? You didn't like the Keaton?
No. It wasn't the bat symbol. It was more the dark, not like just the
Hush.
bat.
It was like Hush with the yellow outline.
Yeah, and they just put this bright yellow outline on it. So he's got this dark gray black suit with this bright yellow line in the chest. And I'm like, so you just gave him a target on his chest.
Well, that's always been the point because that's
Yeah.
where he had the armor for the longest time.
Sure. But now he's back to just the black bat, the big, bulky looking utility belt, the blue trunks. That's all. That's back. The actual look is coming back. And did anyone see? I did not see it. There's been some thing that, and it was all over. There was a leak of the new costume for the Flash TV show. Did anyone see it?
See what? I'm sorry.
The TV show, I guess, because Flash is going into its 5th season, he's getting a new costume, and I know that I guess it's more comic accurate comparatively, supposedly, but I did not see it. And I guess there was some big brouhaha about body shaming because everybody's saying he looked too small in it and it didn't look right. I was like, he's not like a big guy.
Have you ever seen a fat guy run as fast as the Flash? No. It just physically doesn't work. For one thing, we tire out real quick.
Who are you? I'm the Huffer and Puffer.
And for another, well, eventually we catch the Twinkie.
What's your superpower? I can run between Dunkin' Donuts in 3 seconds flat. Stopping at every Taco Bell on the way.
Ugh.
That'd be an explosive combination. Taco Bell and Dunkin' Donuts. Throw in some coffee for good measure, and that's nothing but one giant diuretic.
I am the Huffer and Puffer. Who's your major arch villain? Oh, that's my multiple personality.
Whole Foods.
No, I can't say what came to my mind, but I will type it out.
Go ahead. And we're waiting. And
Hold on. I type fast, but I'm not that fast, damn it.
Alistair, you guys still playing?
Maybe.
It's our crack.
Okay, I'll say that one. The Huffer and Puffer and his evil personality is the shits and giggles. Is that like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde?
Pretty much. It's only after he's hit up the the Dunkin' Donuts and Taco Bells and the coffee. A tremendous change came upon me, and I don't remember anything that happened. However, the news was more than happy to show the end results.
Speaking of, someone needs to go to Warner Brothers and smack them.
Oh.
We don't need a Joker movie. We don't need a Joker movie.
Aren't there like 3 in development?
We don't need them. We don't need a Joker movie. The Joker works better when he is not... There is no background. The mysterious background Joker is the better Joker.
Even the Joker's more in favor of that.
And I don't understand why they keep jumping around like this. It's like you've already established 5, 6 movies now with a certain set of characters running with obviously within the same universe. You've got another one coming out that's in that. You got Shazam coming out. He's another character added to it. And then you're going to start veering off. I mean, I understand the Elseworlds aspect of it, but why?
I just don't see how you make a Joker movie all that interesting.
It's not.
It's not.
The whole reason the Joker works is he has Batman to play off of. It doesn't work nearly as well with other characters.
Yeah, you have 2 sides of the same psychosis coin.
I mean, unless you're going to put him up against the Creeper, but I mean, the Creeper is not even a C-list character, really.
Plastic Man.
I know it'll never happen, but I really want to see Onomatopoeia on Arrow.
That'd be kind of cool.
We need a movie.
But Kevin Smith said he will not let it happen because it's Kevin Smith's character.
We need a movie where Batman is against what is it, Rainbow Quilt?
Crazy Quilt.
Crazy Quilt.
Yes, we need Crazy Quilt.
And the Killer Moth in his original costume.
And the Condiment King.
We're not going to go there.
Oh, we're gonna go there.
We're not going to go there.
Yes, we are.
Just when you thought Calendar Man was bad enough.
Calendar Man is pretty cool. He's pretty freaking hilarious.
I remember my first introduction. I remember this cover to the day I died. He had a pseudo Batman looking suit on. Well, it was kind of crossed between Hawkman and Batman. It was bright orange and gold. And he was throwing giant numbers at Batman and Robin, who were running on a falling apart giant calendar.
Sounds about right.
Now, that had nothing to do with what was going on inside the book, but it was just... He was a ridiculous character.
We a team up between Kite Man, Killer Moth, and oh god, who was the other one I was going to throw in there?
Crazy Quilt.
No,
Yeah, you're right. Crazy Quilt deserves his own episode.
No.
Cause he's crazy.
no, Ten-Eyed Man. That special forces soldier that sees through his fingers.
That's weird.
It's very weird. Batman usually defeats him by tossing him things.
I had like 8,000 masturbation jokes run through my head at the same time. I can't say any of them.
Well, there's always Polka Dot Man.
Sees through his face.
You know what I simultaneously would love to see, but also don't want to see? A sort of modern either TV DC Universe or movie DC Universe take on? Mad Hatter.
I think he would work on a show. I don't know if he'd be able to pull off the big screen. Oh man, the dude who sees with his fingers. See, I got so many bad things going through my head right now. Just the idea of using the bathroom is just
It's just a terrible.
Oh, your eyes, they burn!
Oh, quit!
I mean, if he goes into a bathroom with like really cheap toilet paper that breaks too easy.
Oh god, oh god! It's in my eyes!
It's in my raccoon wounds!
Why do we always have to go down the toilet? Why? I didn't even know that character existed. Thank you, Wolfie.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's entirely Wolfie's fault.
Other comic book news. Have you read the Infinity? What's the new one?
Prime?
Oh crap! Yeah, the new one, whatever Marvel's new Infinity thing is.
Yeah, it's Infinity Prime right now. Although there's spin-offs of it too.
They done killed Thanos.
Yes, they did.
They don't only killed Thanos, they beheaded Thanos.
He gets over it.
They were tired of his shit.
Oh,
Well, Gamora's the one who did it.
yes.
Though I don't think it's the same Gamora.
I don't think so either. Something's not right there. I was like,
Yeah, but also Thanos has been killed several times in the comics too, so...
well,
They drew it out. His head was removed.
oh yeah,
quite forcibly.
his head, yeah, he's gone. Well, there was also, I don't want to spoil the end of the book, but the end of the book, Gamora does something that I don't think something's wrong. Something's not right there. Her last action in the book is very, very
WTF?
yeah, definitely a WTF moment, as in what were they thinking? Because Thanos is not the only one to die in that book.
Didn't the X-Men comics just change up the origin of X-23 and imply that one of the X-Men is not actually a mutant, but was altered to appear to be a mutant?
I stopped reading the X-Men books back in the in the 1800s, back in the 90s. I haven't picked up an X-Men in a long time. Back in my day. Because they got what? X-Men Gold, Silver, Blue, Purple, Red, Orange, Rainbow.
I don't know. I just know they're doing the whole Return of Wolverine thing right now.
Yeah, he got better.
It's just a flesh wound.
Well, this is the adamantium agenda. Now there's Infinity Prime.
At least it's not a crisis. That's DC's thing. Everything's
Infinity
a crisis.
Crisis.
Everything's a crisis. Oh, that would be awesome. What
Well,
happened
I mean,
here?
you could say there's an infinite amount of crisis.
Well, there's Crisis on Infinite Earths. They just need to do a book. They got to all get together where Darkseid finally gets his hands on the gauntlet, and it works. I just want to see Thanos and Darkseid like go into a smackdown.
Oh, so do I. And just have like Superman just off in the corner, like, yeah.
Just have him ref a ring. Put him in a boxing ring. Put him in a boxing ring. Let him duke it out.
Yep.
Darkseid's gonna win that fight, but it's kind of like if you put Deadpool and Deathstroke in a ring, Deathstroke's gonna be walking out of that ring. Deadpool is a rip.
Tell that to the friggin' Death Battle guys.
Oh, Deathstroke. Well, Deathstroke's powers are identical.
Except for the regeneration bit.
He regenerates, but just not the Mary Sue regeneration that Deadpool has.
He also has an anti-regeneration sword.
Yeah, Deathstroke would walk away from that fight. I'm not saying Deadpool would die. I'm just saying Deadpool would lose that fight. Probably the first thing that Deathstroke would cut out would be his tongue.
Speaking of Death Battle, they actually did a recent one that was kind of legit and made sense.
Who'd they do?
They did Samurai Jack versus
Afro Samurai.
Yes, Afro Samurai.
Ooh. Who won?
Samurai
Who do
Jack.
you think won?
Samurai Jack.
Yeah, Jack lost an arm. Afro lost his life.
And it actually was legit, made sense. Jack was actually a legit better, fighter.
Plus, he survived a whole lot of more shit.
He really has.
Who, Jack?
Yeah.
Still got feels from the end of the series.
I have a confession to make.
You've never seen it.
I am obsessed with Samurai Jack. I've watched every single episode about maybe 1 billion times over, but I cannot bring myself to watch the final episode.
Gotta do it.
You have to.
I don't know. I just can't.
You have to do it, man. It's just like, removing a splinter. It hurts at first, but it'll get better.
I think I'll just wait for it to come out on Blu-ray, and then I'll go get it. The whole series.
Doesn't Discovery come out on Blu-ray like next month?
I think so.
Debating whether or not I want to pick that up.
Firefly suggesting Mills Lane is the referee between Darkseid and Thanos on the boxing ring.
Let's get it on! Is he still alive?
Ooh, Firefly?
Oh, Mills.
I have no idea.
Was it going to be a claymation battle?
It would just be, it's got to be written by somebody who knows both characters, though, and it can be objective about it and actually go into their powers and who and what they can do.
Well, the Infinity Gauntlet is already useless anyway because the Infinity Gauntlet only affects those within its universe.
So
and Darkseid is outside of it.
sorry to interrupt. Star Trek Discovery Blu-ray Season 1 will be out November 13th.
November.
But yeah, the Infinity Gauntlet wouldn't work on him. He can throw energy blasts and whatnot and affect stuff around him, but it's full potential, useless against
Well,
Darkseid.
yeah, I mean, yeah.
But all he would need to do is use the Reality Stone to create like 100 Thanoses.
And Omega beams would hit every single one of them. That's a power that it's not like that. That's part of Dark. It's not like that has to be in universe to work.
Yeah, it kind of comes with him. Strength-wise, they're probably equal. Though, you know what they could do? Because there's no way in hell you'd get DC and Marvel to do such a thing, because you'd have to declare a weapon. Well, do what they did way back in the day with King Kong versus Godzilla. Depending on where it's being shown, King Kong either wins if it was in the US, if it was in Japan, Godzilla won.
Sure.
So do it for the Marvel, Thanos wins. For DC, Darkseid wins.
Well, that's this is how you figure out the Superman Hulk one. Because Thanos beat the Hulk. Darkseid would beat Thanos. Superman has beaten Darkseid.
I do have that comic where it was Hulk versus Superman. It came to a draw and they had to stop.
Which one, the Amalgam one or the other one?
The other one.
Okay, because the Amalgam one, he beat the Hulk.
The movies don't really show the aspect of the Hulk's powers, that he just kind of keeps getting stronger and stronger as he gets madder and madder and madder.
Yeah, they don't sleep smackdown on him, though.
But yeah, in the movie he did. But that's not.
He also had the Power Stone. That you can't. Nobody wins against Thanos when he's got the Power Stone.
I know,
but Thanos has beaten the Hulk without it.
Can you imagine Hulk with the Power Stone?
It would be ridiculous. But in the films, yeah, Hulk. You're right. Hulk has not actually shown that aspect of the angrier he gets, the stronger he becomes, because he has no limit.
They did in the Eric Bana one, though.
They did.
They showed that where the angrier he got, the bigger he got, and the more powerful he became.
And they pretty much ignored that film. It didn't happen.
Well, because it was kind of meh. Even though I think the Hulk in that looked better than the what's his name? Norton movie.
Ed Norton.
The one in the Norton movie just looked too slimy all the time.
To be fair, they were trying out that new technology that I think probably led into the current Hulk.
Now, what's funny is my younger son loves the Eric Bana Hulk movie for some reason. He watched it over and he kept pulling it out. I want to watch this one day. I was like, you sure you want to watch this Hulk movie and not that Hulk movie? No, I want to watch this one. Okay.
Sorry, I know it has nothing to do with comics. Really for geekdom, really at that. But they found Aerosmith's first touring van in the woods in Massachusetts. The abandoned van that they started when they started.
Oh yeah, American Pickers found it.
Yep.
Kind of random.
I was just going through my phone and I noticed that. I just thought that was kind of cool.
Now they just got to find that van that Chris Farley lived in.
It's down by the river.
Ah, thank you.
And it stinks of government cheese.
Just waiting for somebody to say it. I wasn't going to say it.
He lived in a van down by the river.
So, you talked a little about Godzilla, and I know they're planning on a Godzilla King Kong thing, and that universe that the Universal is doing with this. I just can't get into the new Godzilla movie. I don't know why. I think it's the bad taste in my mouth from the first one.
I really enjoyed that one, though.
I liked the first one.
I like the last 15 minutes of the first one.
But then again, I'm also someone who loves every single Godzilla movie that's ever been made.
I love Godzilla Final Wars.
Yes.
It's so over the top. It's great. The stupid flying spaceshipy thingies and the fact that he took on the American Godzilla and the fight lasted 3 seconds. Tuna eater.
Firefly just suggested a terrible crossover idea. He said, for a crossover that might freak out the Dark Knight, imagine his getting to meet the lovely angels, or imagining the Hulk intimidating a whole WOG into accepting him as the boss. To explain that, in 40K you have a faction called Orcs, and they're just like Orcs anywhere else, except that they're a bit dumber in this particular universe, but they are stupidly strong. To become a boss of a horde of Orcs, or a WOG, you're the strongest and meanest one, and you're the one who basically thumped the most heads. Hulk would easily become the boss, the war boss of a WOG, just because it's the Hulk. And they'd totally be down with it.
He's kind of orcish. You know what? Where did I just hear this? Topher Grace, the not Venom from Spider-Man 3 and from that '70s show, has a hobby of fan editing movies.
His Star Wars one is fairly well known.
But I guess he did The Hobbit. He cut The Hobbit into one movie.
Put all three of them together into one?
Yeah. And from people who have seen it, said it was actually really tight. He did a good job, and he does a good job with his edits. And they asked him when he has time for this kind of stuff, and he said he did the Hobbit one while filming the Black Klansman because he needed an outlet, so he wasn't always thinking about playing David Duke.
Ugh. Yeah, I don't blame him.
But I would love to. I mean, because I'm a big fan of fan edits. I love fan edited movies. Still trying to figure out. I had started a Green Lantern fan edit just by taking scenes that I already knew needed to be worked on, and I edited the end scene where all the Green Lanterns are there instead of just Hal Jordan, using bits and pieces from the other film or other parts of the movie, so they all looks like they're attacking the giant thing, and then it's Hal that actually beats him. I'll let you guys see.
Hey, that movie never happened.
That's a movie I have to go see. I have to go see Teen Titans Go.
No, please don't.
Remember, Deadpool removed the Green Lantern movie from history.
Did you see DC throwing shade on the Deadpool DVD release announcements?
No, did they really?
Yes, because I guess Marvel or Fox put out the thing, said, "Hey, Deadpool coming out on." They put it out on Twitter, and then DC right behind them. Don't forget to pick up your copy of Green Lantern today on Blu-ray and DVD. Right, I mean, like right on top of it.
I love Ryan Reynolds and everyone just throwing shade back at him.
I don't want to spoil too much, but I have seen the mid-credit scene from Teen Titans Go, and that's probably the only reason why I want to go see the movie, because there is a.
I think we found a way to come back.
It's good. Yes. It's good.
I'm sorry, what's good?
The mid-credit scene, and it is eye-opening and if you were a fan of the original show, the mid-credit scene is for you.
Well, I heard that there's a lot of folks who really enjoy it.
See, I don't mind Teen Titans Go. I take it for what it is. I love the fact that they don't take themselves seriously. They break the fourth wall all the time. And they are very self-aware. It's extremely self-aware. It's kind of like Seinfeld, but superheroes.
I didn't like it at first, but it has grown on me majorly.
Yeah. When does Young Justice come back out?
Not soon enough.
Yeah, sooner would be better.
Like now would be great.
Oh, and on behalf of Adam and Comfort, their Webtoons thing for the Uniques came out on Monday, so guys should check that out. And then there's the one for Rainbow in the Dark, which came out today. And I just dropped the link.
So is Rainbow in the Dark a take on the Silverhawks song?
No.
It's
No.
not at all. Well, I'm
No.
just the name.
No, but it is musical based.
Okay.
That whole series is very musically based.
So I never understood that line from the song. Partly metal, partly real. Wings of metal, nerves of steel, Silverhawks, the rainbow in the night.
Well, maybe some of them were a little different. We don't know. We don't judge. It's in the future. Come on, man. You gotta be progressive here.
I guess.
Especially since one of them would look... I don't know. The one that's orange, it kind of has a...
Kid.
I guess a monkeyish look? Is
No,
he a kid?
he's a mime. He's from the planet of mimes.
Okay, I wasn't sure, because every time I was like, why does he look kind of like he might be kind of an... I don't know, apish.
Well, he's a mime. He comes from the planet of mimes, where they don't talk.
Okay, that at least makes some sense, because I've never seen the show.
Oh, well, I used to watch that show religiously.
Planet of Mimes. What is this? Legion of Superheroes?
Everybody's trapped in a small box. No, Selena, you can't take the Mugwai home with you? Or the Muggy? Muggy or...
Mughi? Mughai?
I read it as Moogie, like, Quark's mother.
Moogie?
Moogie.
Since you haven't gotten that far along in Stowe.
No. I will say, that whole having to walk all over Deep Space Nine just to hear someone... just to introduce characters, that was annoying. That was like, really? Now I gotta go walk over here. Oh, I gotta walk over here. Oh, I gotta walk over here. Oh.
13 times in the freaking game.
It was like, you know what? Just put them all in the same room. Now, I will say, the visuals are... and it's been nicely cleaned up. I noticed that. I was like, ooh, check out these visuals. These look really nice.
Cleaned up is an understatement. It's complete reconstruction.
Let me put this out here. When you go do the Quark's Lucky 7, you should totally live stream and record that.
Yes.
With your own commentary.
Yes, that is a must.
Didn't Tobias Richter do the new DS9?
I believe he did, yes.
Yeah, the Lucky Seven's probably the best episode they've ever created for Stowe.
Yep, by far.
Perhaps it was not a good day to die. Why does Worf not have any eyebrows in that picture?
Reasons. He may have plucked his eyebrows.
That's really weird. He doesn't have eyebrows. He does have eyebrows on his makeup, right?
You know, I'm not sure.
Someone get on that and check. Because I know in the
Yes,
movie
yes, he does.
he's got eyebrows. Yes. That's really weird.
Just for whatever reason, then that
He
they're
has very large, bushy eyebrows.
depends. Actually,
His eyebrows change like Spock's ears.
You know what's funny is it took until I believe like season 6 or 7 for Dorn to realize he could just grow his own beard.
Now, Tank, see if you can find an image from the actual from the movies. First Contact for one, actually.
yeah, that was pretty easy.
Okay, there we got Worf and TNG.
Oh, and Firefly explained the what he was talking about. Muggy, large feline, at least on the Adam Warren run, that accompanies the above-mentioned lovely angels. Yeah, he has eyebrows. You just can't hardly see them.
He grew them out for Deep Space Nine. Or for the movies.
You know, his hairstyle changed over the years.
It's amazing how if you not realizing it, how much they changed his makeup over the 7 years.
So Alistair shared a version of the boyfriend and girlfriend thing where they're walking along and the boyfriend's staring at the other woman, and it's Bashir, O'Brien, and Keiko. I'm just trying to figure out why Keiko is purple.
Lighting.
Screaming till she's run out of air.
I guess it's just really weird.
Had some bad seaweed for breakfast. See, this is the kind of Star Trek I miss, where they talk about what they had for breakfast.
Besides Ractagino.
Well, yeah, there was that. I mean, think about it. It's like
You know what Cardassians drink for breakfast?
fish juice.
Old fish juice.
But no, what was it? I mean, Keiko and O'Brien and Miles were talking about breakfast and switching things up. And he was like, they were having seaweed or something, and he was talking about breakfast that he would have. And she was like, oh, it's so heavy. And I was like, see, got down to that in like Discovery.
Well, no, I mean, because in the case of DS9, it's very character-driven.
That's not a DS9 discussion. That's a TNG discussion.
Well, I'm using DS9 as my example. Because they really got into it with DS9.
They did.
They did with TNG, but it really got into it with DS9. Really focused on showing how much you can relate to them. Because that's something you do. You talk with your significant other or whatever and about what we're having for breakfast. And it just helps build the character more.
In Discovery, they talk about whether or not they're Klingons or not.
I was hoping to recall a scene with Tilly and Michael over breakfast.
That's true.
Yeah, but you didn't have it quite as much. It's just a different focus.
But again, we're also looking back on 5 seasons
Instead of one, yes.
Instead of 1.
Again, we'll give it time. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it may change over time.
Now, this whole deal, have you guys read any more about this where they're talking about like completely saturating CBS All Access with Star Trek all the time?
Oh, yeah, they want year-round Trek or something.
Which, this obviously wasn't on the show. I said, I'd be fine with that because there's a lot of Trek they can cover in a way that isn't going to be oversaturation, really. Because there's a whole lot of time periods they can cover. A whole lot of characters they can cover. A whole lot of ships they can cover.
You know what's pissing me off? All these people that are claiming that the Picard series is happening because Discovery is a failure. All these people that fail to understand how the world and especially how Hollywood work. You don't get more of something that's a failure.
It's true.
But that doesn't make people feel good about hating something that they don't like that's successful.
Well, but Discovery isn't for Trekkies from the last 50, 60 years. It's to just they're going to watch it anyways. Plus, they've got hundreds of hours of their own programming. Discovery is to bring in new fans.
I know that.
Have
You know
to
that.
grow.
They know that. They just don't want to admit it.
We're so angry.
Or it could be that they actually don't know that. Because they're in their own echo chamber,
So
and they think that what they say is valid and is making some kind of dent or whatever. And it really isn't.
No, my thing is they have every right to not like the show.
Of course.
But what upsets me is when they sit there and try to tell the rest of us we're wrong for liking it, and B, they won't admit the real they won't admit that Star Trek can change and become something that they don't like.
Well, why would you do that? That would be admitting that their worldview is not the right one.
But it doesn't even have to be about worldview. It can just be you've got these people that don't like the new look. Okay, so go back and watch whichever look you prefer.
But they want new stuff. Why aren't you pampering them?
Because CBS already makes pretty much as much money as they're gonna make off the hardcore.
I don't think
fans
Wolfie's
every
getting
year.
the facetiousness.
No, I know. I get what he's saying. I'm trying to bring reality. The reality is CBS already makes as much money pretty much as they're gonna make off the hardcore fans every year. And hardcore fans don't realize that while that's a lot of money, it's not necessarily enough money to justify all the shows they want. They have to bring in non-Trekkies and new viewers.
I don't care about them. I want something for me. So why aren't you pampering me?
I don't know, Alec Peters. Why am I not pampering you?
Pander to me!
I'm sorry, I said the forbidden name. I apologize.
It was fitting.
Swear to me.
I'm not meaning to get so worked up about that one, but the announcement of the Picard series has brought all those idiots back to the forefront.
Yeah, but you realize, though I was being facetious, that's exactly pretty much the mindset.
Oh, I know. And then the ones that really piss me off are the misogynists that talk about how Discovery is a failure because there's no strong white male role models and all this other stuff. And that's why Pike is being brought in.
There was a strong male lead. He just got killed
Who
off.
turned out to be a villain and then in certain people's minds was completely emasculated.
Look who the actor was. There's no way he wasn't going to be a villain. He's always a villain.
You're doing the same thing I was just doing.
I still loved his character. I loved Captain Lorca. He played a damn good role.
You also don't have tiny balls and worry about your manhood constantly.
Hey now.
Oh, you're an all-star.
I'm sorry. I'm going to call it how I see it on that one.
I'm more concerned about how you know the size of my balls.
I'm making an assumption on the fact that you're not worried about Discovery's lack of a white male hero affecting your manhood.
I was just wanting to make sure that you didn't actually know the size of my balls.
I also see that slice of pizza. Put it down.
Hey, that pizza's good. Pizza did nothing to you.
So point on the diagram where the pepperoni hurt you. See, no one's going to jump on that one.
Well, no, it's just now I'm sitting here with my legs crossed and thinking about pizza.
And he better be scared because I actually do know where he lives.
Did we lose Adam?
Nope, because I'm reading something my friend just posted that the word homeowner has the word meow in it. Good luck pronouncing it correctly ever again. You're welcome.
Damn it.
Homeowner.
Homeowner. Homeowner.
Meow.
It does, but you gotta move the letters around.
I hear the Meg has been getting a lot of praise because it knows it's dumb.
I'm sorry, when I first saw the trailer for that, I was like, wow, sci-fi's branching out.
I definitely I saw that and I definitely realized, okay, this movie knows it's classic schlock cinema. I mean, it's the definition of a dumb popcorn movie, but it's doing it right in that it knows it's a dumb popcorn movie.
Yeah, it's a wait for Redbox movie when they have a free rental. Have we run our course? Are we ready to leave? What are we doing?
I'm thinking. Did I mention this already? The Witcher Netflix series is now has either a producer or director. I can't remember which from Game of Thrones.
Should be good.
Well, I'd say that's very appropriate.
It's gonna be good.
Well, we'll see if they have the money that Game of Thrones has had. But yeah, I think we should probably wrap it up for the evening.
Probably. We done run through everything.
Yeah, I can't think of any additional topics we need to discuss.
Have you guys seen the trailer for Maniacs?
Huh?
It's a Netflix series starring Jonah Hill and oh god, I can't remember her name. She was in Superbad and
Emma Stone.
yeah, where they're psych ward patients and they undergo some sort of experimental treatment that puts them into like alternate worlds in their heads and stuff, and somehow they have a connection that keeps like overriding the machines and causing problems and stuff.
Well, the answer to that is no. I have not.
Nope.
Looks kind of interesting. I mean, it's Netflix, so I don't know when I'll see it, but it looks interesting.
Well, to me, it's Emma Stone. I'll watch it.
How did I not know about this?
What?
This will be my last call. It would appear that Hot Wheels is releasing Star Wars concept series ships. And I'm looking at a photograph of the TIE Fighter concept.
Shit. Are you serious? Well, better go dust off the old checkbook.
Let's see. Firefly had his own last call for us. He's like, he recommends at least checking out any impressions in the wild about Phantom Doctrine and Door Kickers Action Squad. Which I'm scrolling back up. I think he did mention something about that. Yes, he did mention something about Door Kickers Action Squad. I have to check into that. And I don't think I'd want that, honestly. I mean, it's neat conceptually, but I wouldn't. No, I'm not interested in that. But hey, good for kids.
Anybody else?
I ain't really got anything.
EMU Paradise removed all its ROMs today because of Nintendo's perceived new, more aggressive stance against ROM sites.
Well, ROMs have always been a little. Yeah, they've always been kind of on that line.
I don't know, this site's been going strong for 18 years, and then apparently without warning last night, they removed all their ROMs and they're changing direction.
They must have gotten some legal action thrown at them.
They didn't say that. They basically said that they don't want legal action after Nintendo
For a long time,
shut down those other two sites.
For a long time, ROMs, I believe, we could consider that a necessary evil. But with the advent of virtual consoles on both the Wii U, the Switch, and the DS, it's they're kind of unnecessary.
I have to agree. I can see why Nintendo is like cracking down harder now, because now you can put them on your. They have the ability to port them onto your phone.
Yeah.
Whether they do that or not, it's a whole other story. But they can now, and the Switch is portable, so you can do it on the Switch too. So it's gonna be a really good platform to do it on.
Well, I know the two sites that Nintendo went after initially. Nintendo basically said, there's other sites out there that aren't doing it the way these guys are. These guys apparently were doing it for profit in Nintendo's eyes. Like, I guess based on the number of ads they were selling and everything else. But a lot of the emulation community is viewing it as, oh, that's just an excuse, and they're going to start going after everybody.
Well, I mean, to be honest, they should. It's copyright infringement.
I mean,
yeah.
Sorry, but it is.
Dead games and abandoned games are kind of a passion thing for me. I don't.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, if anybody is ever really, really, really bored and really, really interested in this subject, I think it's there's a YouTube channel I follow. He does Dead Game News as a YouTube show, which is not related to Dead Game News, the Twitch channel. It's Accursed Farms, and he goes very much into detail about game developers who create video games and then just kind of let them die, and basically they've made this product, they've sold this product to you, and then they've made this product something you can't use anymore.
Well, you get that an awful lot with other products too. Other programs, I should say.
Well, and I agree. I can understand certain games. There are games that have been dead that people love for so long that, Nintendo will never bring back. For me, case in point, Golden Sun. I don't think they're going to ever do anything with that ever again.
How do you even play Golden Sun on a ROM? You can't. I'm going to take my computer outside and shove it into the sun and hope it notices.
Isn't that a particular Golden Sun game? I didn't think that was every Golden Sun game.
There's only 3 of them. There's the original Golden Sun Lost Age, and Golden Sun Dark Dawn. Dark Dawn came out in 2006.
I might be thinking about a different kind of game, too.
Probably are. But it was
I know Golden Sun used a night and day sequence, but I think it was time-based.
No, they didn't use anything time-based. The Golden Sun was an RPG turnstile RPG. It was one of the last ones on the Game Boy Advance, and it was fantastic. One of my favorite games of all time. The music was fantastic. The story was awesome. It was a game that was supposed to be one game, but they had to split it up into two because it was so big. And it was just a really good game. But they decided that they were done after Dark Dawn, I guess. Because
yep, I was thinking about a different game. It's called Boktai, The Sun Is in Your Hand. Because you actually had to play the game outside in the sun.
Yeah, I don't think that's the same.
Well, just there are other games also, like Baten Kaitos. That'll never come back. That was a Monolith Soft game. Or was it Monolith Soft? I could be wrong. But that was a good game on the GameCube, I thought, and the Wii. That was a really good game. It was fun. But I don't think that's ever going to come back again.
Anyway.
Anywho, are we done?
I am looking
I
up
think so.
about Phantom Doctrine and Action Squad, and they actually do both look pretty cool. As Firefly described Phantom Doctrine, it's basically Cold War flavored XCOM.
I watched the Venture Brothers season premiere and realized I need to go back and finish watching the last season. Somehow I never finished it.
Well, we have goals for ourselves then.
It's a good goal. We'll be back next week.
We apologize.
Maybe we'll pay more attention.
What?
That's expensive, man.
I don't pay attention.
I don't pay attention either.
What?
Huh?
What?
Where?
Excuse me?
Who are you?
Oh my
Oh,
god!
hi.
What's all this?
Wait, y'all aren't just voices in my head?
Get out of my head!
Go eat the Twinkies. Go eat the Twinkies.
I haven't had a Twinkie in like forever.
I saw some in the store the other day. They don't look right. Remember how they used to be like golden? These things were like white.
I made the mistake of eating McDonald's yesterday and I regretted it forever.
So you went from being the huffer and puffer to shits and giggles.
I don't know that there was much giggles.
I had sushi last night and I paid for it this morning.
Right. We have definitely fallen into the toilet, folks. We need to just leave.
Alrighty, we'll be back next week.
We appreciate you sticking around or showing up randomly. We will try not to open certain topics again. That was kind of weird.
Yeah, it was.
Can't promise you anything.
Well, Badger's around. It makes things weird anyway.
Good.
It's a good thing we're ending, because I just heard thunder.
Lightning. Very, very frightening.
Galileo.
Galileo.
How many more Galileos are we gonna do? Like how he got that reference.
Yeah, I knew exactly where you went with that.
I can't wait for that movie.
It should be a fun film, I admit. Anyway, so we'll catch you guys next week.
Same bad time, same bad channel.
God damn it, I want to say it.
You guys can always reach out to us ahead of time, though, if you want to. Just drop suggestions, whatever, to our Twitter or to our Facebook page, or well, that's really it. No one cares about the Google Plus.
Everyone mail us $1.
Well, I'd rather you didn't mail $1. It just gets stuck in the post office. You could donate $1, I suppose. PayPal,
Sure.
yeah.
And a dime from every dollar you donate, we'll go with the other 90 or the other 9 dimes.
See, that's a deal right there.
But no, I would. If you want to donate $1 to us, and the charities will start sending me letters. Would you please stop sending us dimes?
Send us actual cash.
Okay, fine. We'll send you pennies.
No. That's got to be 10 pennies.
What about $half?
Okay, we're just yeah, we're done. Okay, say goodnight, guys.
Later.
Hasta luego. Be back next week. See